Hello, everybody. Good afternoon or good morning. Melissa, you want to come up? Okay, there is Melissa. Good morning, Melissa.
Good morning, Dr. Rao. How are you today?
I am great. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Thank you so much for asking, sir.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
So, lots of questions for you, but I'm going to let you start first.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Hello, everybody. Everybody's on my platforms. Thanks for being here. Um, Today, we want to converse about education. Me being a parent, me being a teacher in some ways, and also really interested in our kids' future. I kind of explore this education and how the it is significant in life. How does it address the significance of life? Such kind of things. Right? So we were talking the other day, Melissa and me, on one of these kind of our gatherings, friends gathering. I call this Mumbai Room, and we started chat about education. Then she has a number of questions which were nice, and we thought we'll go a little deeper if possible. And it's basically done for everybody, but basically done for Melissa's questions. And as a teacher, I really want to give her my perspective, and maybe some of the points will stick with her. Right, Melissa?
Yes. So I actually took a look at the book that you suggested, which is, I'm guessing, where your title came from.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to start with one of the quotes that I copied down from the book.
Yeah.
And the author said that intelligence is the capacity to perceive the essential, the what is, and to awaken this capacity in oneself and others. And I thought that that was amazing. But that what is part, I'm like, So that kind of made me think, like, what is he referring to when he says the what is?
Yeah.
Like the what is going on in life, the what it is that you're trying to focus on, the what. So that was a little bit like you said, going deeper. I was like, okay. And then you also said that education should help us to discover lasting values. And I was like, oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And I'll get to the questions, but I did. He had some really profound thoughts, and I'm really glad that you suggested that book to me. He said education should awaken the capacity to be self-aware and not merely indulge in gratifying self-expression. So there was a talk you had the other day where you were talking about IQ, EQ, and SQ, and I thought that they're very much connected to education. I was wondering if you could speak a little bit about that connection for me.
Yeah. Let me first tell you who that book writer is, and then briefly. His name is Jiddu Krishnamurti. He calls himself an educator, and also really understanding the limitation of thoughts, and really saying about there are no real paths to spirituality. It's a pathless land. But about the what is very significant because he ended one talk in Sri Lanka way back. What is sacred. We'll come to that later. Okay, just remember that sentence, Melissa. Okay, what is sacred. See, normally what happens if I come like a regular doctor and you come with a headache, I tap on the knowledge that my previous scientists and doctors have done, and they have given me something about a way to go about it, and also really not waste time but get to the problem very quickly with the order of tests and interviews and all that, right? That is using traditional knowledge to help a patient in the physical sciences and all that. That is okay. But if you are saying, I only know the truth, I'm going to tell you, and then based on this, I'm your teacher, you are supposed to act like this in spiritual matters, in your inward, how you feel about life, how you approach life, and all that. Then I'm being really bringing a traditional, my experience, and imposing on you. You see? But
Yeah.
what is what do you feel? What do you experience? That is your what is, not what I say is the authority. I know this, that's what I'm telling you. In sciences, outward things, we are okay. We want that knowledge, we want the best practices, we want to improvise our life's comforts and all that. But when it comes to inward realm, where human beings are concerned, how they should learn is by perceiving what is in front of them and experiencing it rather than following a theory by somebody. Right? For example, somebody says, this is written in this book, so that's why you have to follow it. He doesn't have any idea about his experience. He doesn't have any idea about who you are inside. And then he's giving you a word or something that you have to follow. That is not being perceiving, that's being following something that is dead. That may be truth or not, but you have to know about yourself. That is what is.
Yeah, he did talk about that.
Yeah.
In fact, he said I thought this was a great quote, kind of going along with what you're saying.
Yeah.
The man who knows how to split the atom
Mm.
but has no love in his heart becomes a monster.
Yeah.
And that means like he doesn't really know himself. He's just focusing on,
Yeah.
that one particular task. And it's about having that love. And so that was actually one of the questions that I have is how do we stop that?
Yeah.
That monster-like mentality. And how do we get them to have the love in their hearts if it's not?
That's a good perspective. Let me put this all in context, and then we will come to that question.
Okay.
Then it will be much more relevant to our times too. So first of all, don't go by somebody else saying. Find out with your own inquiry, intelligence, and that way you really not really following somebody, but you have investigated, found out about that issue by yourself. All these gurus, all these teachers, all these coaches, everybody, they may train you about certain outward things, but it comes to inward thing, you got to investigate by yourself. That's the intelligence awakening he was talking about. Okay, look at this. If you take the ancient systems, they were more holistic education, whole person, mind, body, spirit, and all that, right? Whereas modern education, we emphasize on the skill acquisition, which is not bad for outward things, and also career readiness. That's also okay. But if you are just doing and earning rather than being and knowing, see, look at your being, how you are made up of, what kind of kindness you have, what kind of love you have, what kind of understanding about other people you have, what kind of unselfishness you have. That's all the being. And knowing how to be, that's the question you are asking, is important. We can teach the subject, science and technology, math and all that. That's what he was saying. He can split the atom, but he can be a monster, because if he doesn't have the this discretion, I should not use the atomic bomb to extinguish humanity, then he is the monster, right? So like that, somebody who is kind of raised just to enjoy himself, just to use everybody, but he is very knowledgeable, very much knows all the things of the life, but then he doesn't have the kindness and lovingness and really accepting other people, then he becomes a monster, because he has this skill that he could use against us. That's what we are afraid of, the nuclear arms in the rogue nations, or even artificial intelligence getting very much ruling our lives, because we don't want to land it up in rogue nations or rogue people. And then We have given the tool to the monster and he will use it that way. But if you are really connected with everybody and you have really greater universe is not overlooked in yours and you are connected to it, and you can have personal fulfillment, but that fulfillment should help the welfare of the world. Otherwise, whatever skills you have, whatever you have, extraordinary things, you will use it for your own selfish, egotistical purposes, and you will hurt everything in your way. Make sense?
Yeah, it does make sense. And I was kind of thinking, along those lines of people not having love in their hearts. So
Yeah.
I had like a follow-up question to that. If somebody doesn't have love in their hearts, can we share the love that we have in our hearts with them to foster that?
Yeah. All we can do is we can be loving and we can share them to that. Most of the time, they may not have experienced a loving relationship, loving circumstances, loving opportunities. But the moment we touch them with that, that's one way to really make them feel like how wonderful that feels when you give something without asking anything in return. When you accept somebody without judging them who they are, what they are. When you give them affection without really tainting with something of a money or admiration or something like that. See, when you are full of love like that, where you don't have division with everybody else, then that love really makes the other person feel it first, enjoy it, and then want to be like that later. You have to give them time.
Yeah, so give them time. Just continue to love them and give them the time and the space that
Space.
we need. They need, yeah.
The space is important, Melissa, because how is your school? Is it trying to make you egotistical and mechanical and get a lot of skills, but don't have anything about what is being, what is love, what is affection and all that? What is your responsibility to the rest of the world? None of it there. And then what about the home? Are we doing that, or are we indulging in our own entertainment, neglecting the development of the kids from inside out?
Yeah, that's one of the things that I like about the school that I'm at is we use a program, and even though it is very much skill-based like you're talking about, we use a program called Conscious Discipline that helps the children to be aware of their actions. And, we teach them things like breathing strategies and mindfulness. And so that's something that I think is very important. But back to the book, the author had said, that, and it made me sad when I read this because I know it's true. He said, we're not peaceful, happy people. And I'm like, ooh, but I think that that's really, really sad. But I do think that that's something that hopefully can be countered. Would you agree?
Do you know when this book is written?
And I think it was written in the 70s. Is that accurate?
No, 70s printed. It was written in 40s or 50s, something like that.
Wow.
So
That's when it was reprinted. Okay.
In that, he talks about teachers not coming and saying, I know this, I'm going to tell you. Rather, I'm going to discuss this with you. I'm going to do this with you. Then that teachers will also really have. Then he will question the teachers, do you have these roots of divisions that is making us do all these wars and everything, and we are succumbing to that? Okay, so your question of that, how do you do that? Holistic development first starts with parents, with teachers, with other members of the family or the society, and then the kids can be shown the example. We encourage the other way, and then we kind of lament these things are not getting to the kids. Suppose you are warring at home, and you're warring because of your egos are clashing, and the kids see only that, and they don't feel comfortable or psychologically secure, right? Suppose you see in the school only concentration on the sports and on the things that they are doing superficially, but then important learning the life is not happening, then they will learn that egotism, competition, and suppression, and overcoming other people, all that. See?
That makes sense. And that's, I know that my students, a lot of the students, they live in trauma. And so they aren't seeing that peacefulness and happy harmoniousness in their homes.
Yeah.
So I think you're absolutely right that we need to encourage and give them examples of peacefulness and happiness. And like you said, give them that time and that space. And I think that's great advice. And back to the point, what you had said before about the AI thing, there was a quote in there. He said, in a life run almost entirely by machines, what is to become of human beings? And I was like, oh my goodness, like he has a very profound mind. And I'm shocked, like you said, that this was written way back in the 40s, but I guess that shouldn't, I guess profoundness of mind can happen at any time and place. So, but I mean, it just seems so relevant to today to think that it was written so long ago. But
no, if we look at it, Melissa, modern times we have developed science and technology, and we develop tools to live by, but we are neglecting our essential tool, which is our being, our mind, our emotions, our heart, and all that. They need attention too. Okay, you cannot really come to a patient and do a CAT scan and diagnose and tell him he has appendix inflamed, so I have to go to surgery. That's okay, you are curing him, but the patient doesn't feel like he's examined. He's his hand, physician hands on his tummy, and he was really taken care of, because he feels like, I want them to tell me what's going on. I want them to examine me. I want them to listen to my complaints, then go and do all the treatment. See, we are relying on technology too much, where we have to be humane. We have to be wholesome to the attending to people. We don't do that because we lost priority into the consumerism, commercialism, and materialism. And we are facing the consequences of that with our earth going to toxic weather, and we have innumerable wars. We have no family structure really, breaking down mostly, and kids are brought in by single mothers. And all these are happening because how we are inside is coming out.
Yeah, that's absolutely. That actually kind of goes along with my next question, which is somewhat related to what we were just talking about. And I was thinking about trying to foster in others a response of calmness and confidence to the different tasks. But I think that, and please correct me if I'm wrong, that's going to kind of go back to what you were just saying. If we're encouraging and giving our students examples of responding to things calmly and confidently, and then doing that over time is going to build that stamina or that ability for them. Is that correct?
Yeah, it is about you going to your inward self and transforming. In the process of transforming, you involve the kids also. Like, for example, you used to get angry. I'm not saying you are, but suppose, example, you are getting angry very easily with students, right? And then you want to understand, why am I getting angry so quickly? Why can't I be a little bit more patient with myself, with the kids? And then see, aware of anger when it comes. Then you see the anger going down because you have not given it continuity. You are aware of your anger, and then the anger goes down. And then you discuss with them, this is what happened to me. I used to be angry and used to hurt myself inwardly also. My health and also is affected too. My blood pressure goes up and all that. But now I realize I can be aware of it, and it can go down, and I can sit down and say, what is the root of that anger? Why? So that kind of inward self-knowledge, we don't do it, and we don't show it to the kids, and we don't invite them to get into that.
Well, I actually observed that, and it's so
Yeah.
interesting that you said that, because I work with other teachers. So I'm in a classroom, and I
Wonderful.
saw this teacher happened to be out for 2 days. So
Yeah.
when she was out, I was covering her class at one point, and I was amazed at the difference in the way that the children responded to me. They were paying attention, they were focused, they were engaged. And then when she came back, I saw such a different way of it. But then the teacher is very different from me, and she's exactly what you were describing. She gets very angry,
Yeah.
and she shows it to the kids, and she's in almost a constant scolding mode. And
Yeah.
so that sets up this dichotomy where there's this level of mistrust, because it's like, wait, all this woman does is fuss at us, and I don't know
Can I describe you and her? I'm not characterizing, but you are more a nurturer. You want their inner being to be developed, right? You want to approach like that. And then they sense that, like a mom wants to give love and affection to her thing. The teacher has this instinct of, I want my students to be nurtured from inside out. I want them feel good. I want them feel secure psychologically. I want them really open up to the changes I'm going through. They can see that too. Whereas the other person, maybe herself, she is psychologically insecure and she feels like she is the authority and these people should follow. And she is going to get angry if they are not doing what is supposed to be done. That is not being in the what is, but expecting according to my book. Melissa, sit down and eat, listen to me. Then that becomes a problem, right? But you engage in a dialogue where my thing is to open up the discussion, open up the minds. That's different.
So how could I have a discussion with her, or what? I don't want to be judgmental of her, but I want to help her, because that's my capacity in this role, is to try to help her. So I'm not sure how to help her if she doesn't see the anger that she's spewing out to the kids.
Yeah. She needs nurturance too. That's what you're going to provide. And in that spirit, you are approaching her, like you are not going to dominate her, you're going to judge her or anything. But you could say, this is what we are learning, that we have to change according to the life, according to what we are seeing the students. Each student changes each year, right? So we're going to address them where they are and then help them. How are we going to do that? By us being that. Be the change you want to be, right? So maybe we should look into this of how we can nurture the kids. Not only against her, but as a group of teachers, you sit down and say, we want our kids to be well-rounded. They can learn the technical skills, they can learn the career advancements thing, all that. But inward development, inward attention by us, so that they become real human beings and not losing the heart that which human beings are known for. And once you discuss that, and then really make it agenda with the school and with those people, you cannot point out one person and say, but once you have, see that in that one, they write about how the administration should be, how the teacher should be, and what the kids' ultimate thing will be. All those things are written in the book. It's very profound. If you just stick to, okay, we can make this much score, this many things, people are going to do that, then you don't have time. But if you make 1 hour every week and give importance to the holistic development of the kids, but the process is, first let us transform ourselves and then bring it to the class, make it live thing, then they respond to that. Like you said, you were able to handle the anger better. That's why you don't have to get anger just because they misbehaving or they don't know. And then this lady may think like, I am the authority. What I say, they should have discipline to listen. Otherwise, I am going to take it all on them. And then she creates more and more gap from them.
Yeah, I think that's an absolute great perspective. And I know that she comes from a military background. Her husband's was in the military. She has 2 sons in the military, so it's much more like regimented. Where kids don't always respond. I mean, they like routines, I think, somewhat, but you got to be flexible. I think. But one of the things I want to facilitate in students is wanting them to find answers on their own, and inspiring that curiosity, as opposed to, them just saying, oh, I can't do this, or expecting somebody to give them the answer. Yeah. So that's something that I think that I would love to be able to develop more.
That's a reflection of the larger culture of instant gratification. You want to promote instant gratification in everything, and that is seeping into kids and everybody too, because they want everything answered here and now, quick. They don't look for the long-term benefit, how they can, control themselves, not seeing movies, not going to entertainment all the time, but they can learn what is important, all that. That comes from the parents, class, and everybody culture, right? So what you can say is, you can quote this experiment. One of there is one of the there's a typo in the okay. Pay attention to the content. That will be good. Okay, so the people who really promote this instant gratification, these psychologists did a study on very little kids, like a 4-year-old, 5-year-old. What happened was these kids were given like something to play with, and after they played, they said, okay, I'm going to give you a reward because you played very well. And then he gives them whatever the sweet that the kids like, and then he said, if you want to eat wheat, I'm going to go out and come out. If you can wait for me, I'll give you 2. Otherwise, you have only 1 in front of you, you can eat. See it, don't eat it, and then wait for me, then I will come back. Then if you don't eat it, I will give you 2. Not just this one, another one too. Okay? So these kids are very struggling to keep themselves confined, not to eat that. They picturize it, all of that. And then they found a lot of kids ate it right away, and then they could not get the second one. But the other kids really waited, and then they got the 2, right? And the interesting thing is, they conducted a study on these kids 15 years later, how they did in their college, how they did in their achievements and all that, in graduation and everything. The kids that waited for a while and did not eat the first one, all of them did very well. The kids that yielded for the gratification, ate them right away, they were not. So it is a capacity of the decision making that comes from within. We could focus on that, and we could really train them for that. But we are promoting less and less. We say nobody sees a 1-hour talk. Nobody engages in this serious matters. Only thing is, how can I sell something by showing something like a Garadi, like a magic in 6 seconds? And how can you communicate deeper issues of life in such a short time?
No, you can't. You can't. Yeah. You really can't communicate.
Yeah. We have an attention span less than a goldfish. They actually measured this, Melissa. They said a goldfish has around 12 seconds or so, and we have 9 or 8 seconds currently. I mean, in collection, there are people who meditate, who are focused, who all the time, right? But if you take it, many people are really paying attention to things that are not really important in our human life. Like we are extinguishing our planet, we are kind of killing each other in so many wars, and we are unequal in our money, and we don't pay attention to the psychological development of the kids as much as you should. And we don't pay attention to the increasing mental health problems.
Yeah, that is absolutely true. So what would you suggest to foster that constant questioning that I want to develop in these students? What would you suggest I could go about to try to bring that up in the kiddo?
Take it up as the issue. Like, I am always involved in this. Whoever wants to talk to me education, I go there and then express myself about how we are losing kids like that, and then they are not having a good psychological life because of this negligence, and focusing on the external thing. You can come back, Melissa. I put 30 minutes for this talk so that you don't have to go out and come back and all that. So we can. We are, first of all, we are citizens, right? And we are human beings, and we are parents, and we have this education issue is close to all of our hearts. We want to improve our education because we want better future for our kids. But not in terms of only materialistic gain and then accumulation of things and money, cars, and all that. That's okay, but to some extent. But then, why are they not developing inwardly? Why they are not getting the chance? Do we have enough provisions in the education? So if not, few parents can get together. You, your teachers, your other parents can get together who are interested in this inward development of your kids, not according to a religion, but according to human upbringing with love and care, and really making them feel psychologically secure. Few parents can get together, and then they can gather, see what is going on in their local school, and then go and talk to the dean and teachers constructively, and then develop these small measures that you could do with the kids. Take them to nature, take them to arts and things that they can do. Study them, see what they are good at, and encourage them. And then don't give them these artificial goals. So any number of things you can do, as long as you are committed to that inner development, like you are. That's why I'm talking to you.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, I do have an opportunity. I'm blessed in this position that I'm in now that I will have an opportunity to meet with the parents throughout the years. So, like talking to them about things like this, like you said, taking them to different places, whether it be just a nature walk or taking them to a museum and encouraging them to do things like that. And, that'll help to develop that questioning, because when you are in different situations, different spaces, different places and scenarios, it automatically, well, I don't know if it's automatic, it is for me. Like, my mom is always like,
I have come up with an idea for you. Just now it came into my head. What you can do is you can put up your inward development of the kids is my goal, for example, right? You can write down your own, right? And then you submit like a plan and write a paper on it and show the results from where they are now to after you are done, maybe 3 months down the line. Gather all the data and make a report and show the other boards or counties and all that. This is what we were focusing away from curriculum and all that. We do the curriculum, but also we want to enhance the inner development of our kids, not according to any particular philosophy or any particular religion, but according to humanistic values. We're going to do this, and then we will see how the kids are responding to that. Like you told me about how they respond to you when you went to the class versus other woman, right? It's a kind of the whole thing is universal, holistic, humanistic values we want to promote in our kids, not according to any nation, any religion, any particular pathway, but what is really commonsensically that is good for us. Okay, and do that report and then show the change to other people, then it will spread like that. That's what we do in medical, right? We kind of take a treatment and do the meta-analysis, say these things are working, So then we spread it to everybody, and everybody takes them as best practices.
Okay, I like that. So, thinking about what I can do with these kids that are working well, like one of the things that comes automatically to my mind is the playful spirit. Kids respond so
Wonderful.
well to playful spirit, and what I do is I develop games for them because kids love to play games. So just being playful and develop, encouraging those kinds of things with the parents, and then like you're saying, write a report saying, look, based on playing these games, this is what happened, and that encouraging that sense of inner playfulness with the kids. And okay, I mean,
it is not going to be adopted by everybody right away, but at least you could put a seed there, and you're happy that you are doing what you can do, and then don't look for the result, but just do the thing that really comes from within your heart, and then with the spirit of elevating the kids' future life, not only materialistically but spiritually, how they're going to feel, how they're going to be loving, kind, compassionate human beings. That kind of, if you allow them, if you love them, if you show them compassion, they kind of tag on this and then show it to us. You see, when you went to the class, how they responded to you, and when they have other personality, how they responded. That's an example. We don't have to quote them, but we don't embarrass anybody, but we can be very constructive about it and then show them this is what is working. This is how some schools are working. Like I told you, I'm involved in the schools, right? Those schools, I don't have any monetary anything like that. It's just pure interest. Like Krishnamurti schools, it is there in Andhra Pradesh, where I come from. But you know what? When I was there, I never knew about the school. Only after I came here, I knew about it. It's only one time I went to that place too. It's called Madanapalli. It's the middle of all these hills. But I didn't know about this at the time. But then once I understood, I took a lot of interest. There is one in Birmingham, England. There is one in Ojai, California, and that was too. So I took my children also to visit that place. But my more thing is, what are the principles of this course? They said, we don't want to prepare them only for the university. We want them prepared for the universe, which includes the university also.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. You can adopt that and then see what is those universal values. What are they talking? Why we are not doing it? Which direction we are going? What are the school boards and everything is determining what is good for the kids, and then how they are hurting them inside. That is where your question about IQ, EQ, SQ comes. Okay, IQ is we know that normal intelligence and intelligent quotient, how quickly you can grasp and you can memorize, you can project, you can construct, all that. EQ is emotional quotient. How human you are, how not devising you are, how non-racist you are, how you are saying your own way is the highway. Otherwise, just go away. So that kind of heartfelt, heartful development is emotional quotient. Okay. Now, spiritual quotient is where you are not separated from the universe. You are connected to everybody. You feel that oneness with everybody. And also, you don't have desires for yourself because you are already fulfilled with your spiritual attainment. So you go and work for the welfare of other people. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's what, I'm there to help those kiddos. I am there for their welfare. And I think the more that they know that, I think that's what really helps me develop those relationships. And that's what's key, I think.
As we parents, we all know, as parents, Melissa, we all know the kids are watching us and absorbing everything by our actions, our feelings, and all that. They don't listen to us just we say something. That is my experience as a parent. And everybody tells me the same thing. They don't listen to what we say, but they listen to what we do, what we demonstrate.
Oh yeah, they're absolutely watching.
Yeah.
They're watching us.
That is what the book was talking about. All the teachers come there as they are going to have a dialogue with the kids and learn in that exchange. Not telling them that I know about all this, I'm going to tell you. No. That's why self-reflection, self-knowledge, self-realization, all these things come. So you kind of have so many interactions with the kids. Then you stop and review them in the beginning of the night and then put them in perspective. And then next time you react much better than you reacted at that time. That is the spiritual question comes when you turn inward, not look for people approving you for small things and boosting ego and all. That's not it. You yourself take a reflection of what you are doing in life, inward you. What is happening? Are you angry? Are you scathing? Are you loving, kind, in situations very, very challenging? All those things happen. Right? So that is where you are growing inward and then taking that growth not egotistically, but in actions of doing to other people.
Sorry, Dr.
Hmm.
I have an appointment, so I'm leaving now to go to my appointment. One last question before I go. And there's so many more. I could talk to you every week about this. But this is something that was really apparent to me when I was talking to a colleague on Friday, and there's some discord and mistrust amongst colleagues. And what would you suggest to kind of foster that connectedness or to kind of break through? Because as people, I think we all have a hard time sometimes getting along. So I'm just wondering what I could do to help these teachers not have this discord, to help them kind of bridge whatever animosity might be going on amongst themselves.
Yeah. If you are the leader, you want to bring them along. What it is you got to show them that you want to nurture them in action, in things also. Then they will be able to listen to you. If they think you have an agenda and you want to have your own name, your own advantages, they don't listen to you. But if you can demonstrate, like my patients, right? If they sense that I'm just there to make money on them or to make name or whatever, and they see me being egotistical about my whole thing, they sense that. They are not going to be connected at the spirit level, at the heart level. So what I do is I kind of take strain to meet all the people that are there and then try to find out what their needs, what their problems are, and meet them individually, address them. Thereby, you are nurturing them. And then they will listen to you.
That's great. So I just have to, just like we talked about, showing the kids my heart. I just have to show them my heart and develop that trust in them and let them know that I'm there to help them, and that'll help build that ability to foster the connectedness with the team. Because they're a great team.
One of my best practice in my hiring of people in my corporation, I ran it from 1997 to 2019. I owned everything, the building, everything. So I had a lot of patients, a lot of exam areas, a lot of things people have to run. There's a lab, there's a stress lab, there's a whole like that. We have everything. So we needed a nurse, a few PAs, and like that, right? So a number of people are working there under me. And I always cultivated these young women used to come, 17, 18-year-olds, and they just finished their and then they come to me to work, right? So I always gave them a package, which is standard, everybody do. But also I asked them, what is that they really want to do in their life? Whatever it is, okay, not a country, okay. And people told me, I want to become an RN, I want to become an MBA, whatever, right? Then I tucked it in my mind, and then I make sure that they are doing that apart from this job, whatever assistance that they need, about continuing medical education, or sending to for extra training, or giving them some suggestions from my experience, things like that. Basically, acted like a father or grandfather for these kids, without telling them that I'm going to be like, I'm not on them, but I'm kind of a nurturer, encourager, or really giving them more like a facilitator of what they have to do.
Exit right.
Right? Then it happened, and then those people are very happy because somebody is there looking after their interests. I'm the boss, but I don't have to be that. But because I didn't want to be a boss, but I want to be a leader, I want to display the spirit of nurturance.
In a quarter of a
And
mile,
lots of times, what happened?
right.
The employees that were working very well, because of my assistance with courses or donations, whatever, they were able to get better degrees and moved on in their life. Right? I was not looking just for my profit for my corporation. I was looking for their welfare. That helped a lot.
Exit right.
That makes a lot of sense. So my focus has been
Exit
primarily on developing the children. So I need to work on my leadership skills as far as developing the capacity in the teachers. And that's something in this new role that is a challenge for me. So
Yeah.
I appreciate that. That's something that now I know.
I will
need
put
to
in one
be
word.
developing that.
I'll put that in one word, Melissa. That is, pay attention to your inwardness, how you are. Not according to anybody. You will see what is,
exit right.
how you are. And then that inward development is going on. That will come out, helping the other people around you.
I apologize, Dr. for
Yeah.
my GPS interrupting us, but I cannot thank you enough
Okay.
for taking the time to talk with me and help me. And if we could do this again sometime,
Yeah, we will.
I would love to, because I just think that you are an amazing man. You have such great insight, and I would love to get as much wisdom as I can from you. So.
Yeah. No, to help the cause of it, that's okay.
All the problems.
Yeah, they are minor, Melissa. But the thing is, it is our job to help the education of our kids, collective job. So we are trying to do together like that, not that we're going to dictate things to people, but then we are responsible parents looking at how our kids are developing, how our kids are learning things. Like, I am learning it. I am making my wife learn it now. I'm asking my kids to learn, because that's the future. That's where they are going to go. I don't want them to get lost. So having the perspective helped them a lot to learn more things. So they won't be out of market. They won't be out of, but at the same time, inward development is the most important thing we give value to.
All right. Well, I will continue to work on my inward development. And
feel free to DM me. A lot of people ask me about different things, and just I'm not in the business of making money and all that. It's just expressing myself and helping them. You know what the ancient value I follow? It's called Atma Mokshardham Jagat Hitaicha. First, work for your inward self-fulfillment, and then go and help the world for the welfare of the world.
That's beautiful, Dr. Rao.
That's what I do. I live. Yeah.
Would you repeat that for me?
Work for your own inner fulfillment, and then go with that abundance, go with security, help the world, work for the welfare of the world.
Well, this was a wonderful way to spend my Saturday morning, and we've gone through a lot of the questions, and like I said, thank you so much for
Okay.
sharing your wisdom, because you have done exactly what you just said. You've worked towards your inner development, and I'm very thankful that you're sharing that with me. So I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. I don't know if anybody listening got as much as I did from this, but I just am very grateful for you taking the time and all of the wonderful ideas that
we
you
will
shared with
continue
me.
this, Melissa, as a discussion in rooms, in the special rooms like this. We will do that. Okay, no problem.
Thank you, Dr. Rob.
Okay. Okay, everybody. Hope you kind of listen to that, and then if you have any questions or any comments, you can send me a DM, or you can come up now and talk to me. Otherwise, I think this is a very important facet of our life, and we should pay attention to. That's why I was more than happy to talk to Melissa, and then I will continue to work with her, and she can send me DMs and all that. Okay, thank you very much, and I'll see you again. Bye-bye. Lisa Childress sent me she says she enjoyed the talk today. Okay, that's wonderful. Okay. Thank you, Lisa, for being here and then listening to us as we talk about parental duty of how do we educate kids, So the schools are amazing, but they are not reaching too many people because many people don't have time like that. But then um, I think we should all be at least doing some of the stuff they are doing. Okay. If anybody wants to find out about those schools, you can DM me. I will introduce them to you, and you can go and examine yourself. Okay. I don't have any business or monetary interest in this, just the philosophy I follow. And it's very enlightening to see how they do the holistic development of these kids. See, some of this has come from the ancient Gurukul system, where they are really self-discovery more important than just the education of a few facts. Okay, so simply preparing for the career, it may be needed, but that should not stop there. Okay, thank you, and I will see you again later. Bye-bye. అది అక్కడ లైఫ్ అనేది లైఫ్లో ఈ బదులు ఆర్ వచ్చింది. వాడు జో గారు పంపిస్తున్నాడు, మన జో కాదు, అక్కడ ఉన్నాడు మోజీ, ఇదంతా రేసిస్ట్ ఏదో చెప్తుంటారు. Anyway, that lady is very nice. She wants to find out about the issues. She's a teacher. So I said, okay, we'll talk to you. Is that Chakamar?